Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for 65. It's a movie starring Adam Driver and some child actor. So, as always, I'm going to be good, the bad, and the furry. To start off the furry, there's a whole bunch of scaly in this movie that play a significant factor through a lot of it. I'm not going to say any more than that, but just if you like scalies, this is your time. Alright, so moving on to the good and bad. Let's just start off with the good. Adam Driver. He's an excellent actor and does excellently in this, and he does action quite well. But also, he looks damn fine. Like, I didn't really get it with the whole Force Awakens with the shirtless, like, I was just like, whatever, it's Adam Driver. But in this movie, I'm on the Adam Driver train. Like, sign me up. That is just, whew. Like, I'm not normally a fan of beards, mind you. But Adam Driver with that hair and the beard and just the outfits that he had on, just like, gotta give that man a hand. So, yes, to Adam Driver. But anywho, this movie is essentially, it's sort of a survival movie. It's Adam Driver's character. He's working, and his work involves being on a ship. Ship experiences a catastrophe, has to crash land, and then, like, how, or will he, or can he, or is it worth escaping? And then eventually the child actor at some point shows up and, has part in the movie. And I will say that she did really great, and I props to her for being able to hold her own in this movie. I thought she did a really good job. Overall, I would say that this movie is quite enjoyable. If you liked 127 Hours, The Road, Castaway, I Am Legend, Lone Survivor, if you liked any of those movies, that's the type of movie that this is. It's just that adventure trek to try and win, to try and survive. It felt like probably the closest thing, and maybe not really the closest thing, but how I thought of it is it's the movie that After Earth wanted to be. So I've seen After Earth a few times. I've liked it more as time has gone on. I still know it's not the greatest movie ever, but it has some fun parts. But this movie is such a better version of what that movie could have been. Like, they went so hard on the weird technology that they were trying to build this world that they just kind of failed with After Earth. But in this one, I felt all the technology just really worked and felt natural and not overly forced or overly weird for the sake of weird. Like, it all just kind of worked for me. So I liked it. I liked the storyline. The CGI was on point. At no point that I was like, oh, that's fake. Nothing felt like an overly used set or a set when it was supposed to be outside or, whatever. The music, not like gonna stick in your brain like the Avatar soundtrack, but it was fine. Like, it wasn't, I didn't find it distracting or poor. It was fine overall. The pacing was good. The anxiety was there. Just like, ooh, like that feeling that you want to have when watching this movie. Like, they keep a good pacing for it throughout, and they do a good job of letting you breathe and then bringing you back in. Just so I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed this movie, and I think that if you like those type of movies, you will enjoy this one. I will say that there are a couple of issues that I had with it. I would say that they're very minor issues, but there was just a couple times or a couple things that happened where I was just like, I don't know that that's what would have happened, or that that's what they would have done, or that that's the thing that would have happened. So, but there was just a couple instances of that, and overall it didn't detract from my enjoyment of the movie. It was just kind of like, I felt like you had to do that to advance things and keep things going. So definitely 2 thumbs up from me, and I'm now going to get into the spoiler territory, including the very end type of thing. So, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. This is your last chance to stop the review before you get to the spoiler part. All right, we're going. So, the 2 problems that I had. One is that his everything device that could map out a thing and tell him if things were safe and get all these different things going and tell him and telemetry that an asteroid is going to hit the planet. All these amazing capabilities of his everything device doesn't have a translator built in. Really? I don't know about that. And then none of the other ship systems, both from the crash ship that they made it to, nor the one that they left. I get that he said oh, the translator's broken, but what about this one? Is the translator broken on that one too? Because other things seem to work, plotting to get it off the ground and into space, but whatever. And then the ship. I don't buy how it decided to crash land. Like, it was an interesting way to integrate the asteroid going to impact Earth. To be like, oh, that's a foreshadow that that's the asteroid that's going to impact Earth, and that's why it wasn't mapped. But the technology level of a ship like this, even just like your basic aircraft now, have like the ability to detect if they're going to run into shit. And I feel like this would have gone like much more blaring alarms much earlier than what it did, which facilitated the crash. But I get that you had to have the crash. So, and then probably the last thing that I had a little bit of a problem with was when they were in the cave hiding from the T-Rex, they go down the hole. And I totally get that. That makes sense. But then they're like, we're going to continue. And then they make it to this room and they're like, oh, I can't make it out. The shovel doesn't work. I can't make it out. Okay, I'm pretty sure the T-Rex probably left at some point. You could probably go back and just go up that little space and out. No, you have to like do the spelunking cave diving thing and squeeze your way through. And then, like, it served as a way to separate them, is really all it did, in my opinion. Because then, as soon as the rock slide happened, then all of a sudden he found a different way out. So why didn't you just do the different way out to begin with? Also, initially it looked to me like the cave monster had, like, bit his arm and then left no marks. And I was like, but it bit his shoulder and left marks. But somebody mentioned to me that it was, like, a claw that clawed his shoulder and that, like, the mouth didn't have any teeth in it. So I'm hoping that's the case, but that's about it in terms of problems that I had. But I enjoyed this movie. It was really fun that, like, instead of being like, oh, it's a 7-day hike away, you got to do all these things. It's like, bro, it's just 12 kilometers. 12 kilometers does not sound like a really far distance, and it's really not, unless you have the entire fucking dinosaur period of doom between you and them. I will also say that if you like the bugs from the Peter Jackson version of King Kong, like the giant bugs, they aren't quite as super gigantic, but like many much larger bugs than what we have now. So that sort of like, I don't want to say body horror, but that like horror of like, they're on me. There was a few instances of that, which I was like, I think that they did a good job of it. And I did also appreciate that the dinosaurs were reptiles and not the feathered kind, because I just enjoy the reptile version of dinosaurs better, and I think there's plenty enough science behind that. So I like that they went with that. Out of curiosity, was anyone surprised when the escape shuttle fell off the cliff and was like, orientation wrong? Was anyone surprised that when the T-Rex showed up, that it eventually caused it to flip over the correct direction so they could escape? Was anybody surprised that the T-Rex was the one that caused that? Like, as soon as they landed, I was like, gosh, I wonder how they're going to flip it over. Oh, look, there's the T-Rex. So, just let me know. Were you surprised? Did that come as a shock once that happened? But still, fun time. I liked how they integrated the environment, and I don't know how many scenes were on sets versus in an actual location, and I appreciate that. That's a fun time. But yeah, definitely a thumbs up from me. It's a really fun movie, really good movie. I only said 65 because I almost feel like saying 65 million years ago on Earth is sort of a spoiler, because if you haven't seen any previews, maybe you don't know that it ends up on Earth until that happens. But I also feel like some of the times the previews were like 65 million years ago, like as a subtitle, like Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, but like 65. So I don't know if they just changed their mind about making it so evident in the titles that like 65 million years ago on Earth, or if they like did that and they were like, wait, people think it's in the past, but it's a sci-fi movie with a sweet badass gun that kind of had infinite ammo and was like all green the whole route, and then all of a sudden was out, and then he got it back in, and then he fired a few shots and then was out again. Okay, sure, whatever. I don't know, maybe it's solar powered. But yeah, so definitely a fun movie. I had a fun time. I think you'll have a fun time. And that's really all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.